Hey guys, my name is Jade. I'm a somatic educator and certified brain health coach. I'm not in the medical profession. The following is not medical advice. It is for relaxation purpose and educational purposes only. That being said, the video did go to about 20 minutes, but I want to ask you, if you could watch a 20-minute video and it would change your relationship with your body and put you on an accelerated path to acute chronic pain relief, would that be worth 20 minutes of your life? I think so. So I put this together for you. It did go a bit longer than I wanted it to. It's not getting posted yet to anywhere. This is just for, existing clients and friends and family and friends for now. But please let me know what you think. I hope that this helps. If anything's unclear, if anything really sparked joy for you, just let me know. Thanks, guys. Okay, we're going to start now. What's up, you guys? My name is Jade. I'm a certified brain health coach and somatic educator. You got me all to yourself today, which means I'm going to be asking some frequently asked questions to myself and then answering them, because that's what happens when your co-host doesn't show. Ooh. And co-hosts tend not to show when they don't exist. Go figure. So what is somatics? Somatics is a term coined by the late, the great Thomas Hanna, who founded Hanna Somatic Education. Hanna Somatic Education, which we're just going to refer to as somatics because it really is the OG in the field of somatics, is looking at awareness, biological function, and environment as a synergistic whole. So when we think about the biological function, the degree to which that we're able to human, that is going to be directly and immediately impacted by our awareness and our environment. Environment, we mean that internally and externally. How many of you have been hangry? Or how many of you have not been your best self when you were hungover or tired from traveling? Okay, now of those people who raised their hands, how many times has somebody pointed something out to you and then you were able to change it? The example that I always give is, if there was cilantro in your teeth, I wouldn't have to go up to you and be like, hey, honey, there's some cilantro in your teeth. Here's a toothpick. I need you to go to a mirror, look at it, locate where I'm talking about, grab the toothpick, pick it out. No, I just have to say, hey, there's cilantro in your teeth. You know exactly what to do. But your body is so intelligent that it can do the exact same thing. My role as a somatic educator, particularly in the field of Hanna Somatic Education, is to rewrite and repattern the person's maladaptive responses to stress, which is called motor sensory amnesia. Motor sensory amnesia, it's where our brain has forgotten how to body properly, in loose terms. What we mean by this is that there's connections actually missing. And so what we do is I'm getting a bit ahead of myself here, but motor sensory amnesia is only removed and erased by pandiculation. It's not going to be ibuprofen away. It's not going to be stretched away. It's not going to be worked away. And one of my favorite quotes that they taught us at school is that if you have a muscle that's not under your control and you go to the gym to get muscles and work out and do the traditional conventional way of working out, you're just going to have a larger muscle that's not under your control. Control is something separate. Muscle control and muscle tonus it's different than like the six-pack abs that we're thinking about and the very hot Hollywood movie stars and all that jazz. So where does motor sensory amnesia come from? Well, that's that maladaptive response to stress. 24/7 in our lives, in our bodies, we're responding to stressors. But how do we respond? Because we can all instinctually pull in and protect ourselves from danger. But how many of us know how to instinctually relax? The answer, very few. Maybe some monks on a mountaintop somewhere who dedicate their life to meditation. But for you and I out here in the jungle, life is a little bit different. So when we get stressed out, we can chronically hold acute tension in our bodies. This is something that some people might numb. Some people might treat. Some people might stretch. Stretch. Yes, I said stretch. And I want to talk to you about that for a second. So all of us in our bodies have a resting level of muscle tonus. And you've felt this if you were sore, if you ever pushed it really hard in any area of your life, ever helped a friend move or pick up a child in an instant and then the next day your back is complaining at you. Well, I want to talk to you about that unconscious muscular contraction happening in your body right now. that stiffness is not there for free. It's a signal being fired from your brain, repeated and recycled again and again and again in this very moment, and therefore it can get changed in this very moment, which is the cool part about somatics, right? The rewriting, the repatterning, the getting rid of all of that. So let's think about this tight muscle for a second. We're going to use shoulders, for example. How many of you with tight shoulders ever wanted a shoulder massage? Or went to a yoga class or a PT where they're like, let's break up that tissue, even cupping, even whatever else, right? So they're going to want to say, oh, let's stretch. I'm going to get you into this yoga posture where you can stretch and create space and open it all up. And that's one approach. And I did that for a very long time. At one point in my life, I was teaching 5 classes a day of yoga and Zumba and going to over 20 yoga classes myself a week. And I was still in incredible amounts of pain. And this was before you're like, oh, Jade, 20 hours of yoga is too much. It's too much on the body. It was all mostly gentle yoga. I was not pushing myself. I was always working within my own limits. But it's not uncommon that if a muscle is tight, a practitioner is going to want to stretch it and create space and get that muscle to be long by something on the outside. But let's think about Chinese finger traps for a second. When you pull them apart, they just get tighter. When you shorten it and bring it together, it fattens and then you're set free. So somatics, specifically Hannah Somatic Education and that, because somatics really is an umbrella term, which we can get to if there's time and someone's interested. Somatics goes the other way and says, hey, you've got this tight, unconscious contraction happening in your shoulder. We really call that MSA, motor sensory amnesia, but let's stick with regular terms to start. So let's say you've got this tight muscle, yeah? And how about instead of stretching it by force, which is something external even, and pulling on those attachments from the outside, why don't we strategically shorten that muscle consciously, making the tight muscle even tighter, and then slowly and gently release, relax, and find that we're able to let go of the tension that we just created and some of the tension that was already there. Just like the cilantro in the teeth. If I tell you, there's cilantro, you got to go take care of that. You know what to do. Your body knows what to do. What we do in somatics is we give our brains the chance to update and refresh the system and say, hey, look, this file is missing. This file is missing. You need to put it back. This file right here at this specific, and when I say file, this is what I mean. So I don't have very tight shoulders. Just comes with my line of work. But if I did, then that's an area of my body that I don't have control over. So by taking over that area of no control, now it's in my conscious control. Now we're working in the cortex, the top layer of the brain. It's no longer unconscious. And you're slowly and gently coming down. You're turning on that ability to voluntarily relax. You're turning on that ability to reset the resting muscle tonus in your body. So what somatics really is, it's a form of organic biofeedback. Biofeedback, you say? What that? Well, biofeedback is essentially taking stock of your body and then making your next decision based off of that information you just obtained. So instead of just throwing darts in the dark and just guessing and trying anything that sticks to the wall or whatever that expression is, you actually take stock and measure and see what's happening in your body and feel, and then choose differently the next time. So I want to read you the definition of somatics from the book written by Thomas Hanna himself, and hopefully it will stick a little bit more with that whole preface. Somatics, as a noun and plural, construed as singular. 1. The art and science of the interrelational process between awareness, biological function, and environment. All 3 factors being understood as a synergistic whole, the field of somatics. 2. The study of the soma. Soma being the biological body of functions by which and through which awareness and environment are mediated. It is understood that the word soma designates any living organism, animal, or plant. Side note, I love calling things somas because even plants orient themselves to the sun, and it's like somas is kind of equivalent to like earthlings. It is also understood that all such somas have, to some degree, the capacity for awareness, sensorium, of the environment, and the intentional action, motorium, in the environment. 3. In common usage, somatics relates to somas of the human species whose sensoria and motoria are relatively free from the determination of genetically fixed behavioral patterns, thus allowing learning to determine the interrelational process between awareness, biological function, and environment. Also pronounced, or what is GK? What does GK period mean? Somatikos, soma, somat, body, F, somatique. Thomas Hanna. There you have it, people. Somatics is all about learning, and it's about expansion and evolving who you are. It's about evolution. Somatics, in its truest sense, is really about personal evolution and personal freedom. So welcome to the somatic perspective. Have you ever noticed, I am alone in this Airbnb right now, and the vibe would totally change if there was just some dude staring at me in a corner or something like that. Think about how your own life would change just from when you look at the thing you look at changes. Because we're collecting more information as we bring awareness to it. And that's something super powerful. So as we move through these somatic movements, you're going to notice a lot of the focus is on awareness. A lot of the intention is to bring the awareness back into the body and really feel into what's going on. Because you can't change what you refuse to confront. And if you don't have control, you don't have anything. So I'm working towards a world of 80-year-olds that are chasing their grandchildren and feeling healthy and moving bodies, healthy bodies moving through life. I mean, it's just so crazy how by the time we're in our 70s, there's a lot of different ways to be 70. There's a lot of different ways to be 80. And I believe in a world of somatically literate millennials and Gen Z and whoever else comes after, and all the generations that came previously. So thanks for hanging with me. And remember, whenever possible, effort less. Hey there, my name is Jade. I'm your somatic educator, and I went from regularly prescribed muscle relaxants that up to twice weekly chiropractic visits to not even owning ibuprofen through Hannah Somatic Education. Today, we're going to be going through some basics of very gentle exercise. We're going to break this down to the spoon-fed level. Okay, so to start out, if you can get down to the floor and you feel comfortable getting on and off the floor on a hard surface, so not a couch, not a bed, the actual floor. If you can do that, and that's fine, go watch another video, because this is going to be a little bit of chair work, stuff that's a little bit more gentle. And let me think about where to put the mic. So find a chair, and I want your feet at as close to a 90-degree angle as you can get. So let's do that now. All right, so I really like chair work because it's more gentle than getting on the floor. You're asking your body for less. And you don't always want to get up and down off the floor. You just don't. I hear you. All right, so like I said, and I can back this up just a bit. You want roughly a 90-degree angle. If that doesn't feel right, you can always, if you're a shorty like me, you could always put something on the floor for just more comfort, like that. And all of somatics is going to start with a body scan. So I want you to just tune in, check in with your body, and see how it feels. See where your weight is falling in the chair. The heaviness or lightness of your head. And just bring your awareness to the top of your head. And just think about where the top of your head is and see if you can scan all the way down. Just bringing your awareness into your body just to take stock. Notice what you can notice. And if you can't notice your body at that level, see if you can feel that you're sitting in a chair. Start somewhere. You don't have to be somatically literate on your first attempt, of trying somatics, not even on your 20th, not even ever, okay? So let go of any judgment, let go of this idea that you can mess up, because you can't. Right, so once you're settled, bring your awareness to your seat. And I'm gonna invite you to watch first, then do, then continue to do. So we're gonna be doing what's called the arch and flatten from the chair. And the way this works is, and you can put your hands on your knees for balance if you want, but just gently arch your lower back, feeling the way that it activates here, and then slowly, gently release. Now, a couple things that I want to point out here. Notice how when I arch my lower back, this portion of my body upwards stays the same, okay? So it's not like, you know, I think a lot of times people tend to like rock into it if they can't get that movement, but even if it's just as small as that, little tiny arch, what you're looking for is lower back activation and gently release. And what you can even do is take the backs of your fingers, lightly touch your lower back. Do not press, lightly touch, arch. You feel how that gets a little bit tighter? I'll turn around in a second too so you can see that. And then once you've gotten a feel for an arch, and I want you to move slowly and intentionally and feel what's happening here, you're gonna add the flatten. So the flatten is going in the opposite direction. So when you flatten, create stomach rolls, and try your best to move from your pelvis. So the flatten is this part of your pelvis, the back of your pelvis coming back, your hips, your pelvis tilts this way, and you slowly release. So once you have the arch and flatten, you can put them together into the arch and flatten. Let those rolls, let them roll, who cares? This is for your healing, it's not about how you look. So you arch, get that lower back, so you see my pelvis is tilting this way, and then you undo, bring your pelvis the other way. And I'm doing the arm movements just for the sake of your learning, but let your arms be comfortable and relaxed. I'm gonna show you what that looks like from behind. Good. And as you continue this movement, see how much you can tune up the awareness and control. So you want to just focus on the shortening of your lower back when you get to the full expression of the movement. And then slowly release that, like you're softly letting off the clutch. And then obviously you're going to go in the other direction. And try and move from your pelvis. Move from your pelvis, and you're going to notice the rest of your body move too. It's not the case. I do not want you to move your chest back and forth. It's not a chest movement, it's pelvic. So if you're moving your chest to move your pelvis, try and cut that out and really focus on, like, look, I would rather the tiniest movement from your pelvis. And if it's staying small to start, it's staying small, rather than moving and compensating a different part of your body in order to have that take place. So there you have it. That was our first chair somatic, spoon-fed, arch and flatten. As you finish, of course, you're going to want to come back to that body scan that you did in the beginning just to check your progress and see how you did. I just feel so much more energy. I feel so much better. So I hope you got some benefit out of that too. Feedback is welcome. And remember, whenever possible, effort less.